Krishna Pankaj.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Yes. Haribol. I had some problem with the computer, so I'm doing it on my phone. All right, you can see me here properly and hear me, Padmaji?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, so we'll start. There is some background noise coming.
Oh, I don't have my earbuds.
Yeah, now it's upset. Okay, so we'll start with our Sankirtan.
Yeah.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Radha Govindada Swami Niti Namane. Namaste Prabhupada Devam Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesh Chandavadi Gramya Jandistarine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Gopal Krishna Swami Niti Namane. Prabhupadasya Sahitya Yaha Prakashya Vikriyatya Prachar Kutvan Sadhu Bhagavad Padasya Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinanine Namaste Karthik Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirviketa Punyabhadi Vasatyavitatharine Om Ajnan Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Yakshurin Militan Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Sada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutam Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsyam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Saudhutam Pariyana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Visakham Vikamishya Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, Deen Bandhu, Jagat Pate, Gopesha, Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta, Namo Sapta Kanchan, Gaurangi, Radhe Vrinda, Vaneshwari, Vrishabhanu, Sute Devi, Pranamami, Haripriya. Vanchakalpa tarubhyasya kripa sindhu jayaivacha patidanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasavi Gaur Bhakta Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Vasavi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jao Vishnupad Paramhams Parivraj Kacharya Ashtatar Sat Sri Simad Abhay Charanarvi Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai आनंद कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जाय नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जाय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जाय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गौ गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिर गोवर्धन की जाय श्री वृंदावन धाम की जाय श्री नवदीप धाम की जाय गंगा माई की जाय जमुना माई की जाय तुलसी देवी की जाय भक्ति देवी की जाय संवेता भक्त वृंद की जाय all glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone. Today I
Hare
couldn't get it on
Krishna.
room. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna.
Hare Bol. Jai Shri
Very
Krishna.
good.
Jai
Very
Shri
good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining, participating in this Bhakti Bhagavad Gita course. Today I couldn't get on my laptop, so I'm on my phone. So everybody can hear me, right?
Yes.
And there is no other problem about communicating. Everything is okay, right? On my
Yeah.
phone?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, very good. All right. So today is our 6th day. We are on the 6th chapter, which is the
Dhyan Yoga.
Dhyan Yoga. Very good. And it is the end of the first section of first 6 chapters out of 18. And that first 6 chapter title is what?
Karma Yoga.
Very good. Very good. Out of these, the first 2 are like introduction, and the second one like all the summarization of all the 3 processes of Bhagavad Gita. So that from there, 3rd up to 6th, Bhagavan Krishna has delineated emphasis on Karma Yoga. Also, of these chapters, the real thing you and me need to learn is to understand our identity. Okay. So far, anyone who has not understood Bhagavad Gita always thinks of his identity in terms of what?
I'm the body.
He is always identifying with the body. All right. So that platform is platform of ignorance. Why is it ignorance?
Because that's not a true
Actually, we are not.
identity.
It's not
Yes.
permanent. It's just a temporary coverage.
That's
That's
right.
all,
That's
yeah.
right. Very good. Yeah, because you don't need any certification to understand that. Because now off and on we have seen in our life that some dear one has passed away, his body was there. Right? So this is how we must first of all realize within these first chapters that I'm not this body, I'm a spirit soul. All right. So that is the first understanding gist of the first 6 chapters. ID. Right? What is my ID? So the first 6 chapters teaches us our real ID as spiritual being, part and parcel of Lord Krishna. And the knowledge, so far we have gathered chapter 3, 4, 5, like that. So if I ask you, what is the first step of knowledge after this ignorance that I am the body? Now you have come to understand I'm not this body. So what is the first step of knowledge?
That I'm
I'm
a
a
spirit
spirit
soul.
soul.
Very good. That is the first step. And then the second step?
Part and parcel.
Part and parcel of Lord Krishna.
That's right. All right. So as soon as I understand that I am a spirit soul, so where is my origin? Where have I come from? Or where is my existence? All right. So that's where the second thing is, that I am part and parcel of Lord Krishna. Then somebody says, how do you know this? So what would you say? If somebody asks
Krishna is
you,
absolute truth
yes,
and the
Krishna
supreme
says
personality of Godhead.
yes,
And he comes here to protect us, eternal Sanatan Dharma.
very good, very good. These 3 principles, if you know, then you have already ascended the first step towards what?
Realization, liberation.
Liberation. Liberation from what?
Birth
From
and
this
death.
life, birth and death.
Yeah, the bondage, all right? Your spirit soul is under bondage, all right? It is bound here in this material world. And what are the ropes which has bound it? What are the ropes? There
Our
are 3 ropes.
karmas. Our karmas.
Yes, our
3.
karmas, but the
Sattva,
3 ropes. Very good. Sattva, Rajas, and 3. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, these are the 3 ropes of Maya, which bind us here. All right. And under those ropes, we do activities, karma, which further bind us to next body. All right. So, because of our activities, karma, we get this bound by these 3 ropes. All right. Now, we want to understand that I want to get rid of this bondage. I was hearing another preacher. He says somebody is taken to jail, all right? And then he's given very big cell, very posh kind of, all right? Every facility is there in that cell. It's a big cell. But the cell entrance is locked with those rails there, all right? He cannot come out. Now, on top of that, he is bound at 3 places, right? 2 places in his legs and 1 around his neck, right? 1 chain is made up of iron. Another chain is made up of silver. And the third one made up of
gold.
gold. All right. So these are the 3 ropes which he is bound, and he is free to move in that big posh shell. Right? He feels himself very, very, very happy because those chains allow him to move everywhere without any hindrance. All right. Now, someone comes and he says, "Are you happy?" "Oh, I'm so happy here. I get all the facility, everything." All right. Somebody comes and gives him some diamond necklace and all this, everything. But is this really the real freedom or real happiness he has?
No,
Why?
He doesn't have the freedom.
he's bound.
He's
Still bound.
Is within that room only. He cannot go out. So that is our position. All right. This material world is that cell. It is so big.
Mm.
that we
That's
feel
right.
that we are not bound. It's so big that we think that we are free, actually free, but we are not free.
Mm.
So these are some of the understanding Bhagavad Gita give us as our real ID. So what I want you to do is to understand by the end of today's lecture that firmly believe yourself that I'm a spirit soul. I'm bound in this within this body. Karma bandhan has put me there. All right. So now what should I do in order to get the real freedom? So next 6 chapters, Lord Krishna will identify himself. That Bhakti Yoga, actually Lord Krishna gives his own ID. All right. He will tell everything about himself in nutshell. Right? So if you and me listen to what he says, he gives his ID. First, we have understood our ID. Then next chapter, he will reveal his ID. Right? Then we will understand, oh, then in the last 6 chapters, he will explain about Prakriti, this material world in which we are, to make us understand that you are not really happy, sir. You are bound in this big cell, like that. So this is in nutshell the outline of understanding Bhagavad Gita. So I want all of you to come to this understanding. Theoretically, you and me, we cannot act on spiritual level when you go to work at job or when you are in the material world, but theoretical. So from theoretical to apply, how will you come? How one can come? I am this.
Actually practicing what we learned.
That's
Chanting.
right. Chanting is the key word. Right? The more you chant, the more the super soul inside lifts you. All right. Every day it gives you more understanding that no, you are not this body. You are my part and parcel, you are spirit soul. He reveals himself. Is known as realized knowledge. Realized knowledge comes by doing all the bhakti. First of which is chanting and hearing. So sadhu sang is required, continuous sadhu sang. If you have to have continuous sadhu sang, what should you do in order to obtain it? You live a sadhu sang. All right? That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says what?
You listen,
Satsang tyag.
satsang,
Very
and
good. Very good, very good. First thing is Vaishnava Achari is Asatasanga Tyag ay Vaishnava Achari. First of all, leave the company of those who drag you into understanding, no, I am the body. I am my happiness is to enjoy here. I don't care for others. I will exploit anyone to obtain my sense gratification. This is not the kusang. All right? So leave it. As much as you leave, Lord Krishna is pleased, Guru is pleased, and then you'll be able to rise. All right? We have left some years in our life. All right? Spend these some years of life in preparing, all right? In preparing by doing all this vivid, all the different limbs of Bhagavad Gita and Bhakti Yoga. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given 5 limbs, very important 5 limbs. If you do it, you will develop love for Lord Krishna, which is the goal, because its side effects are liberation. The side effects. All right? So what are those 5 things? Who knows?
chanting first.
First is not chanting. What is first?
Hearing.
Shravan.
Shravanam, Kirtanam,
Sadhu Sang. Who said Sadhu Sang?
Sadhu Sang.
Sadhu Sang
Okay.
is the first thing. All right. And where will you get Sadhu Sang? Just like this satsang we are doing every Sunday and we are doing on Zoom like that. That's number 1 Sadhu Sang. As I said, no, I stay very far. I cannot do Sadhu Sang. No, you have so much Sadhu Sang on internet. All right. On Zoom. Anywhere you can find out. And then you say, there are so many different types of sadhu, so what should I do? So what should you do?
Bona
First
fide.
thing, how will you are remote, you don't know these that. So pray to Lord Krishna with clean heart. Oh my dear Lord Sri Krishna. What is that prayer? Who knows that prayer? Ditto.
My dear Lord Shri Krishna, although I have forgotten you for many years, today I am
Surrender.
not surrendering. Actually, I'm working at
Trying to
surrendering.
surrender.
Trying to surrender at your lotus feet. Please accept me in your service.
Okay.
I'm
So the
I'm
prayer,
trying to be your sincere and serious servant. Please
Mhm.
engage me in your service. Please engage me in your service. Please engage me in your service.
very good, very good, very good. This is what the language does not matter. You can say it in English, Hindi, Gujarati, whichever. But the heart should be melted. All right. My dear Lord Shri Krishna, I have forgotten you for so many lives in this material world. Not this human life only. Before also I had forgotten you. So many lives in the material world. Today I'm surrendering unto you. I am trying to become your sincere and serious servant. So please engage me in your service. Right? Today I was praying like this, and within 5 minutes of praying this, somebody called me from Texas. They are our relatives, and they say, please give us some information how Bhagavad Gita started in Mahabharata. Give us synopsis when you have time.
Oh,
Within
wow.
5 minutes, 5 minutes like that. So this is how we feeling you should pray to Lord Krishna. The Lord Krishna is in your heart. He hears you, right? And he finds out who is actually praying for me to get some information. So he connects you like that. Brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra arudani maya. He says like that. So all these things you will start experiencing in your life.
Yeah.
This is known as live Bhagavad Gita. Live. The book is not an ordinary book. Bhagavan Krishna himself there.
Mm.
Just like Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is Bhagavan Krishna. Each and every word, slok is Bhagavan Krishna. So this is known as realization. Yesterday I told you that there are 3 doers. Right? 3 doers. Who is the first doer?
We are.
The spirit soul, ourselves.
Spirit soul, yeah.
We are. So what is the thing which we do as a spirit soul, which Bhagavan Krishna doesn't do for us?
We desire.
Desire.
Desire. Bas. Ichha, dves. Ichha means desire. 7th chapter we will learn next Monday, 7th chapter, 27th sloka. There he will say that how you have come here and how you can come back to me. The same sloka. Ichha, dves, dvandva, mohina. So that this is how the first doer is myself.
Desire.
Yeah, I desire. So you and me should learn from Bhagavad Gita what to desire. Right? Do I desire, oh, give me some gold, some money, some jackpot, whatnot. But are these things going to liberate your soul?
No.
No. Plus, whatever you have done, right, it is going to come back to you. You go to bank and ask for $1 million. But the first thing they say is there money in your account or not? As much as you put, you can withdraw. So, karmana dev netrana, whatever you could, according to your karma, you are destined to get that you will get without fail. And nobody can stop that. Right? So forget about material desire. What desire you should now have when you have understood I'm a spirit soul?
Spiritual desire. Spiritual.
What is that spiritual desire? What is that spiritual desire you should have? That is the 3rd stage of that knowledge. First stage is I am spirit soul, part and parcel. So the 3rd stage is
Serve
My
Krishna.
duty is to serve.
oh my Lord, just now he said, please engage me in your service.
Okay.
That is the 3rd stage of knowledge. All right. And Bhagavan Krishna will arrange and favor you by sending you guru and or any other way he is going to help you to start doing that. All right. And the first thing he will arrange is for you to hear, just like you are hearing now. All right. Are you hearing some political talk here? You are hearing about Lord Krishna. This is known as Krishna Katha. Krishna Katha is in 2 books, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. There is a postgraduate talk also in Chaitanya Chaitamrita. So if you can concentrate first of all, first step on Bhagavad Gita understand the gist, very concise way. You don't need to know all the slokas and everything. No, just understand the fundamentals. All right. And it's very simple fundamental. I am not this body, I am the spirit soul, part and parcel of Lord Krishna. My duty is to serve him, and I practically serve. But I think end of all knowledge. As soon as you start doing that service, you are now eligible to get liberation. All right. And how fast you want to do it, all Lord Krishna give you. So the first doer is you, who should desire spiritual desire. Now that desire goes where? Second doer.
Krishna
Paramatma.
sanctions it.
The Lord Krishna is in your heart. He says, this one is desiring. He is desiring pratishta, love, and puja. By doing some satsang, he is desiring what? Pratishta, love, and puja. All right. So what will Lord Krishna do?
He'll sanction.
Sanction.
He will sanction. Okay, you want this thing, but you are desiring this by way of teaching Bhagavad Gita. Very good, no problem. Somebody else desires that, let me have at least $1 million. Okay. And he is not preaching Bhagavad Gita, he has no touch with Lord Krishna or anything. Still his desire goes to the heart. Paramatma is there. Right? What happens? This whole equation takes place under jurisdiction of Maya. Lord Krishna is not interested. But he has an agency. So Maya finds out your bank account and gives you according to your karma. So there Lord Krishna is indirectly involved, not directly. Then he orders Maya, or for us who are going to him, he will give this kind of sanction or rejection depending upon his own personal decision. The point is, you and me should not go to him with desires like that for all these material benefits. Still he accepts. Still you are a good person compared to one who doesn't come to me. That we'll see in chapter number 7, next session on Monday. So this is the beauty of doing Bhagavan Krishna's service. And the third doer is the Maya herself. She materializes. She materializes whatever is sanctioned. So now you understood those 3 doers. The Maya will liberate you if you go through channel of Lord Krishna. Maya will bind you if you do not. That's why Bhagavan Krishna says what? Devi Yesha.
Mama Maya Duratyaya. Mame vaye prapadyante Maya metam tarantite.
Right. So if you and me, we go with all our desires, even material desires, we'll go through channel of Lord Krishna. Then he will take care of you, and he will even make you liberated despite your material desire. For example, who?
Ajamir.
And who else? Material desire. Big Dhruv Maharaj. Dhruv Maharaj, when he didn't go for, oh Lord Krishna, engage me. No, he says, I'm doing your service, but I want a very big kingdom, bigger than my grandfather, Brahma's kingdom. The Lord Krishna, he gave him that, and he says, at the end, you will come to that. Right? So to make shortcut, don't desire all for material things. If you examine your life, you will see that you are far better than millions of people. All right? Far better. And you are far better than non-humans. They are all the spirit souls. Right? So similarly, we should realize all these fundamentals of Bhagavad Gita. By the end of this 6th chapter, we want you to come to this firm idea that I am a spirit soul, part and parcel of Lord Krishna. My prime duty is to serve him, and I'll do it practically. Right? Because to understand theoretically, as I explained yesterday, is of little consequence. Right? So doing it with your hands, with your eyes, with your ears, all these things is very important. Very good. So this brings us to the 6th chapter, which is known as Dhyana Yoga. Yeah, okay. Everybody has everything with you. Let's see here. Okay, so we will see how this chapter is connected with the previous one. It says here in the previous chapter, Krishna described how to attain liberation by Niskam Karma Yoga and also by Ashtanga Yoga, briefly referred in slok number 27 and 28. So let's go to slok number 27 and 28 of chapter number 5, yesterday's chapter. Everybody has the book?
27 and 28.
Yes. Got it, everyone?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay, Ajit Bhai, can you read the translation there?
sure. Shutting out all external sense objects, keeping the eyes and vision concentrated between the two eyebrows, suspending the inward and outward breaths within the nostrils, and thus controlling the mind, senses, and intelligence, the transcendentalist aim at liberation becomes free from desire, free and fear and anger. One who is always in this state is certainly liberated.
So in these two slokas, Bhagavan Krishna is giving hint about which kind of yoga.
Karma
He's
yoga.
giving, no, he's giving about Ashtanga Yoga, Dhyana Yoga.
Ashtanga, okay.
He says suspending the air in his nostrils, not taking it out, not inhaling. So that Ashtanga Yoga is called Dhyana Yoga. Dhyana Yoga.
Is it even possible for us to do that? Is it
I'm going to explain that.
Okay.
Just explain how it's like that. Do not do this continuously. For example, right now you see what I'm doing. All right. I'm taking out my. Actually, this is a medical test also. I'll tell you that later. See, I'm taking my breath out like. So did you see three things which I did? First thing is I took deep in breath. It's called inhalation. All right. Took max as much as I can, expanding every alveoli of my lungs. All right. Very deep. The air goes every corner of the lungs, both sides, and expands there. All right. So this is known as pura.
Inhale.
All right. You are taking in. All right. This first section is called pura. And then did you notice that I held it?
Yes.
Yeah, I held it. I did not allow it to come out. I could not take any more. Right? This is known as kumbhak. All right. And the third one you saw is coming out is known as rechak. All right. This process is like pranayam. All right. It's like part of dhyana yoga. Before doing this, what you should do is all we described today. What kind of place you sit, what kind of asana you should have, and what kind of niyam you have, what kind of yam, niyam, all these details will come. Yeah? There are 8 steps, but this one is called pranayam. Right? Like you must have heard kapal bhati and all kind of pranayams are different types of pranayams are there. But what is the purpose of doing this? This pranayam which I did, what was the purpose of doing it?
These are physical activities to purify yourself internally.
Purify yourself. The real thing is now you are concentrating on your respiration.
Breathing.
That's how you are going to control one thing, which is very difficult to control. What is that?
Mind.
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 All right. In all yoga, the first step is control of mind, including bhakti yoga.
Control the mind.
But controlling mind becomes easier with doing niskam karma yoga. Right? You will be able to control your mind by doing niskam karma. Then how? That you have to do practically, then you will realize. Right? Means if you start doing niskam karma yoga, it will lead to the control of mind. Your mind will not flicker this, that. Your mind will be how to benefit others and how to do some niskam without any desire. So the mind slowly comes under your control by doing niskam karma yoga. So this is the beauty of doing Bhagavan Krishna's bhakti, because niskam karma yoga will actually lead you to bhakti. All these are very subtle ideas, but you will understand as we go through this, that you don't need to do this what I demonstrated. But if you want to do it, is good. What was I doing when I was doing it? When I was inhaling, when I was
Holding the breath.
And what
Were
was
you
I
holding the breath?
Concentrating.
You were concentrating on Krishna.
Actually, I was chanting.
Oh, wow.
Actually, I was chanting. So this is known as Bhakti Yoga. Because even all of this Ashtanga and everything is to reach Lord Krishna. That will come in the eighth step like that. So the process of Ashtanga is a very bona fide process. But in the life of 100 years and in this Kali Yuga, it's not practical for all of us. Do you think how many of us can do this every day? It's very difficult. And you will see what requirements are for this kind of yoga. So even Arjun said that this is not possible, practical for me. This also we will see in today's lecture, like that. So this is the gist of these two slokas. Bhagavan Krishna just gave a hint to Arjuna in order to make it clear for those who are body conscious and using the body, they want to control the mind. All these Ashtanga yogis, they control the mind. And what is their goal? If their goal is not Lord Krishna, what is their goal of doing these Ashtanga yoga? What do they want?
Physical
Ashtanga yoga.
fitness.
Yes, that's one. Number two.
Discipline, chanting.
No, they are not interested in
They're
Bhagavan
not
Krishna.
chanting.
Indriya Nigraha.
Controlling your
want-
mind.
They want
want-
siddhis.
That's the answer.
Ashtasiddhi.
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 They want siddhi. They want to become lighter than the lightest, heavier than the heaviest. They want to control others. All these things are there. Ashtasiddhi, Lagima, Kam Vasaita, all these siddhis, they are after siddhis. But on their own, they cannot get siddhi. So they are concentrating, instead of Bhagavan Krishna, they are concentrating on what?
Demigods.
Paramatma, which is expansion of Lord Krishna, but they don't want to go to the personal Bhagavan. They want to go to Paramatma only. Right? Why? Why they don't want to approach Bhagavan Krishna? Because of Ichha Dvesh.
Vesh. Yeah.
Ichha Dvesh. Ichha Dvesh. So every Jew who is in the material world has some Dvesh towards Bhagavan Krishna from where he is. That's why they are in this material world. All of us. Right? So the medicine is, all these yogas are medicines. What kind of, what different yogas, you know? First is Karma Yoga, then
Jnana Yoga.
Dhyan Yoga, Gnana Yoga, okay? Karma Yoga, Gnana Yoga culminates in this Dhyan Yoga,
Okay, right.
and Dhyan Yoga, and then Bhakti Yoga. There are
Bhakti
other yogas, like that. So, as I mentioned, Bhakti Yoga is the final yoga. You go Karma Yoga or you go Gnana Yoga, but you have to come to Bhakti Yoga at the end in order to get liberated. Okay? So the goal of all the yogis is material goal, which is Ashtasiddhi. There is no material goal and they want transcendence, they reach up to Paramatma. Where do Gnanis reach at the end of their sadhana?
Brahma.
They go up to Brahma. They believe that final God is Nirakar. There is no person involved there. All right. Just like the sunshine. All right. Sunshine comes from sun, right? And who is the predominant deity of sun? Sun god, Vivaswan. So there are three elements here: the sunshine, the sun planet, and sun god. Right? But they think that the sun is sunshine is the topmost. All right. And from sunshine comes the sun. And from sun comes the sun god. Is that logical?
No.
No. The sunshine comes from sun.
Fine.
And the sun is because of the sun god. So this is the right calculation. All right. The other calculation is that the sunshine is first and the other two are subordinated. So our understanding from Bhagavad Gita should be very clear that there is Bhagavan Krishna, the topmost. From there, his localized representation with each jiva is known as Paramatma. And then the bodily effulgence from his body is known as Brahma. Yes,
So Guruji, can I ask question, Guruji?
Sure.
This Paramatma is then the four-handed Vishnu?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
The Paramatma is Lord Krishna's expansion as Vishnu.
Okay.
Right? And there are three Paramatmas actually. Who are these? Who knows?
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows now? Very good. Yeah. So first is Karanadaksai Vishnu. All right. He's known as Mahavishnu. All right. From there, from the skin pore and he's from nostrils, all this material Brahmans come like small bubbles. You must have seen that picture. And each bubble is one universe and headed by Brahma. And one Brahma has so many heads, and the smallest Brahma has 4 heads, and we are in that universe. In that 4-headed Brahma's universe, Lord Vishnu, now Paramatma, expands as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. All right? And he maintains this material world around us is live because of what? Because of that Atma there, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. That's why seasons change. That's why there is Gacchati iti Jagat. Right? So that's that. And then the third Paramatma is in our heart. All right? He is the one. What is his name?
Shirodakshai. Shirodakshai.
Vishnu. So this Bhagavan Krishna is representative in our heart. He is impartially there. He drashta, upadrashta, anumantacha. Right? He is the one who is sanctioner or rejecter. And he is our witness. Upadrashta anumantacha. Paramatma iti Uttama Purushanya. He is the one. He is our heart. So all this is the basic understanding of Bhagavad Gita. All right. So this brings us to the Dhyan Yoga chapter here. Let me see here. It says here, in this chapter, Krishna describes Ashtanga Yoga in greater detail than what he did in the 5th chapter. This he is giving as a means to control the mind and the senses. All right. So one thing you and me should learn from Bhagavad Gita or any spiritual endeavor is one first requirement. What is that? Control your mind. All right. Control your senses. Senses are subordinate to the mind. That's why control the mind. Who is above mind?
Intelligence.
Buddhi.
Intelligence. And who is above intelligence?
Atma.
The soul itself. All right. So you are a soul, and you have to keep the intelligence very vigilant. Does not allow mind to take over. But in our life, we see that mind takes over all the time. Despite our intelligence, the mind makes us make so many things. And who is that? The great enemy in that mind. There is a very great enemy. We saw it in the other chapter. What is his name? That enemy's name?
Lust.
Very good. That lust, material desire. All right. Lust is the biggest enemy. Vairinam, Krishna says. Right. And the lust is powerful in the mind. All right. And it is less powerful in the senses. It is not that powerful like in the mind. In the senses, it is less powerful. So you and me, as a spirit, should start controlling the mind. I mean, the lust with the senses, where it is weak. How? By engaging the senses in the service of Lord Krishna. The senses, like the tongue. Tongue is a very bad sense. Out of all the senses, the tongue is the strongest. All right. It will not allow you to use anything. As soon as you use something, it is before you think it is gone inside your mouth. So that tongue is very strong. So that's why we have to control the tongue. Tongue you can control by taking 2 vows. What 2 vows you should take, Padma Ben?
Chanting and taking his name, and also offering the food to him and make it a person.
Bas, make this habit when you drink water, when you eat some food, but not the prohibited food. Whatever you just speak Bhagavan Krishna's Mahamudra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Make this practice, all right? This is one thing which you should do. Another thing you should practice in your life is you wake up in the morning, you are busy working this, that. All of a sudden, stop. All of a sudden, all right, stop. And do what?
Chanting.
Check, where is your mind going?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Phone.
Check, where is this going? What is it thinking? All right. So that is how you will be able to slowly start. These will not come in one day. It will take years. Yeah? I have tried and tried and tried, but sometimes I'm lost. Especially you are out of your home and you are at the airport and whatnot. So you have to practice. That's it. You are waiting at the gate to board the plane. What are you thinking, sir? Are you thinking about what is going on around here, this, there, like that? No, you just come to check your mind. That's why it is said in Bhagavad Gita, wherever the mind goes, bring it back. Manas sanchalam askiram. It is very labile. It goes away without knowing like that. So this is the practice we should do. One thing is, as I say, check your mind, and the other thing is control the senses, especially tongue. Very good. Before practicing the advanced stages of Ashtanga Yoga, one must be purified by the practice of Niskam Karma Yoga. This is the first requirement before anyone goes for Ashtanga Yoga. You and me, we are not going to go for Ashtanga Yoga, that's for sure, right? But as a matter of explaining all the yogas to Arjuna, Bhagavan Krishna is giving this detail. Ashtanga Yoga is a very bona fide process of obtaining liberation and going to Lord Krishna. Very bona fide. Just like Dhruv Maharaj, right? He did also Ashtanga Yoga. But his goal was Bhagavan Krishna and the Narad. So he did not concentrate it for Paramatma, and he did not concentrate it for Astasiddhi. But Narad had told him to chant one mantra. What was that mantra?
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Devaya. They were not referring to Paramatma, to Vasudeva. Who is Vasudeva? Son of?
Vasudeva, son.
Son of Vasudeva, Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Right? This is what it is. We learn in this Ashtanga Yoga one message. Bhagavan Krishna told all this, the whole chapter for one message. What was that one message? What do you think? Why he has brought this Dhyan Yoga to Arjun? So that Arjun will reject it. Did Arjun accept it or reject it?
Rejected.
He rejected it. He says, what you are talking, it's
Very hard.
very difficult. As difficult as what?
Chanchala Vimala
Controlling the
Krishna.
wind.
Capturing the blowing wind. The mind is so difficult. And control some, all this Midwest type, what do you call this? All this, calamities there. No. All right. So that's why the whole purpose here is Lord Krishna is telling all of us through Arjun that it is very difficult. Then the easiest thing for you and me is do bhakti yoga. All right? So that's what it is here. Okay. However, Ashtanga yoga is very difficult for people in general to perform, especially in this age of Kali. Thus, before teaching Ashtanga yoga, the culmination of Karma yoga, Krishna first praises Niskam Karma yoga in this first and second slok because of its practicality. So let's see the first slok here, the Dhyan Yoga. So everybody has the book? Okay, so I'll sing and then you sing. Sri Bhagwan Uvacha
Shri
Bhagavan Uvacha
Anasritaha Karma Phalam
Anashrita Karma Phalam
Karyam Karma Karoti Yah
Karyam
Karma
karoti yah.
Sa Sanyasiya Cha Yogi Cha
Sannyasa
yogi cha.
Na Niragnir Na Chakriyah
Chakriyah.
Right. So what is the meaning here? Anishu Ben has the book. She can read.
Yes, I do.
Very
Here,
good.
Hare Krishna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, one who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obligated is in the renounced order of life, and he is the true mystic, not he who lights no fire, performs no duty.
All right. So here Lord Krishna is making position clear about the one who is a sannyasi. So if I ask you, what is your understanding that certain person is sannyasi? So what is your understanding?
He renounced the world, material
Yes.
world.
And so what is he doing? He is still in the material world. What is he doing?
He's
Karma yoga he's doing.
Okay. So sannyasi generally is that he has renounced the world. That's why he is not doing anything, any activity. That is not sannyas, karma sannyas, they say. All right. Because he still cannot remain without doing some activity. All right. So who is real sannyasi is defined here in this sloka. Bhagavan Krishna says here that one who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obligated is in the renounced order of life. This is known as sannyas ashram, renounced order of life. Right? Sannyas ashram. And he is the true mystic, not the one who lights no fire and performs no duty. Right? So no fire means he is not doing any yagna. Fire means yagna. So what Bhagavan Krishna has said that everyone, including sannyasis, should do three things. I told you yesterday. Three things everyone, even sannyasis, should do. What are those?
Chanting, lighting, doing worship, Bhagwan's worship,
austerity
and charity.
Yagna, dana, tapa. All right. So remember these three words. These are three words. Yagna means sacrifice. Dana means charity. Tapa means austerity. All right. These three things every human being should do. All right. Now, what tap we should do? I explained 4 rules. All right. There is tap. Dana, you should give some money or whatever as donation to whatever bona fide institution you think, but for the welfare of people. All right. That dana, a yagna. And the third thing is yagna. Right? The yagna, the fire sacrifice, and all these things you cannot do in this Kali Yuga. So the easiest yagna in this age is what?
Sankirtan.
Sankirtan yagna. Yagna hi sankirtana prayer yajanti hi sumedasa. Kalau nastiva gatiranyata. What is the kalau yagna? Harer Nam. Bas. So if you understood this fundamental of this chapter, you have understood this whole section. That in your life, you should do these three things. Yagna danta, right? Already you are doing some little tapasya. Already you are doing some donation. Already you are chanting with your family and others, and satsang also. So this is the real sannyasi and real yogi. All right. What is the meaning of yoga? We have discussed before. What is the meaning of yoga?
To link.
Connect with God.
That's right. Connecting with God. All right. And the out of so many yogis, Bhagavan Krishna at the end of this chapter will tell us that who is the topmost of all this. All right. So that we will come little later. Okay. So in the first 9 slokas, the gist is given like that. The beginning of the Ashtanga Yoga is called Aruruksha. All right. And the advanced stage is called Arudha. These two Sanskrit words we should understand. All right. Now, Ashtanga means what? What is the meaning of Ashtanga?
8 steps.
8 steps.
Eight
Okay.
steps.
So now these 8 steps are what? Who knows those ones one by one? First one is?
Yam.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next one, who can say the next one?
Niyam.
Niyam. The third one, next person.
I'm reading it. Asan.
And the fourth one, who can say
Pranayam.
next person?
Pranayam.
Pranayam. Then?
Pratyahar.
Mhm.
Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi.
Yeah, right. Okay. So these are the 8 steps. Out of these, the first 5 steps, they are known as Aruruksha. Right? That's the process we are understanding to reach this stage. The first 5 are known as Aruruksha. And when somebody has reached the Dharana, Dhyan, and Samadhi is Arud, is already on the higher stage. Arud means just like riding a bicycle or somebody rides a horse. Right? There is a process of sitting on the horse. One who is trying to sit on the back of the horse, that's known Aruruksha. But then when he is already on the horse, he's on Arud. So understood these 2 words?
Yeah.
Okay. So in this section, it says one who desires practicing this Ashtanga Yoga should not suddenly give up his prescribed duties of Karma Yoga, which purifies his heart. Although working, since a Karma Yogi renounces the results of his actions, he is already a sannyasi. Niskam Karma Yogi is equal to sannyasi because he has left all the desire for the fruits. And because his mind doesn't dwell on the enjoyment of sense objects, he is also called yogi. Now, the 2 levels of Ashtanga Yoga, Aru Yoga, Aru Ruksa, the beginning stage up to those 5 steps. And Aru Yoga, Arur means those advanced. When one is completely purified of material desires, he can give up Niskam Karma Yoga and practice Ashtanga Yoga exclusively. Then one neither acts for sense gratification nor engages in fruitive activities. This stage of steady meditation is called dhyana. From dharana to dhyana. Mind control and detachment from sense objects are the 2 requirements to come to the yoga root stage. So if anyone says that now I'm the yoga root stage, these are the 2 characteristics. What are those 2 things? Mind control. First of all, mind control. And number 2, detached from sense objects. Right? He's detached. He is using his nose. He is not attached to those aroma. As soon as you and me have some aroma of very tasty food, we become attached to it. We want to eat it. But that one is not attached at all. That's the 2 requirements. Now in the 5th and 6th slok, mind is both friend and enemy. Right? So these slokes number 5 and 6 are important. Let's see. I can read, you can hear and speak. Uddharet atmanam atmanam.
Atmanam
Natmanam avasadaye.
avasadaye.
Atmev hi atmano bandhu.
Atmaihi atmano bandhu.
Atmeva ripuratmanah.
Atmaiva ripuratmanah.
All right. So Aruniben, you can read the translation.
Which shlok is that? 7 or 8?
No,
6,
5.
6, 5.
Or 5? One must deliver himself with the help of his mind and not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well.
Okay, read the translation for the 6th also. Next slok, translation.
For him who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. But for one who has failed to do so, his mind will remain the greatest enemy.
Right. So all yogis, including bhakti yogis, we should be careful to do this thing. What is that? Try to control your mind. All right. And how as a bhakti yogi you can control mind will be exemplified in case of one big king who used to use all his senses in the service of Lord Krishna. Padmaben, do you know his name?
Amrish Maharaj.
Very good. Savai Manak Krishna Palarvindayor Vachansi Vaikunt Gunanuvana. So there's whole how he was using his eyes, mouth, friends, touching in Saurabha, legs. All this is given in those slokas. All right. So that we will see in another reference like that. Okay. Then the next 7th slok, who can read the translation? 7th
can read.
slok. Yeah, please read.
For one who has conquered the mind, the super soul is already reached. For who has attained tranquility? To such a man, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor are all the same.
Right. And read the next also.
A person is said to be established in self-realization and is called a yogi or mystic when he is fully satisfied by virtue of acquired knowledge and realization. Such a person is situated in transcendence and is self-controlled. He sees everything, whether it be pebbles, stones, or gold, as the same.
Right. So these are the stages of one who has reached those higher stages. Okay. Now from 10th up to the 32 slokas, the stages of Ashtanga Yoga practice are described. From 10 to 17, practicing stage of Ashtanga Yoga is described. And from 18 to 19, perfection of Ashtanga Yoga involves what kind of, we are going to go in details like that, but I'm giving you the outline. Then 20 to 23, realization and perfection of samadhi. Okay. And there are 2 types of samadhi, sampragnat samadhi and asampragnat. All these are technical things. We do not want to go deep into this because we are just reviewing the outline. Okay. From slok number 33 up to 33, this necessity of controlling the mind. So those are very important practical slokas. Let's go for 33. Okay, so Lord Krishna described the whole process of how to do Ashtanga Yoga and all these things. I'm not going in details because this we are not going to practice. All right. If you are interested, you can read it when you have time. It tells you how one should sit where, and all these details are given in how to do Ashtanga Yoga. How many of you want to do Ashtanga Yoga? We have no, any kind of inclination of doing this. Very impractical in our
We are interested in
age.
jewel.
Yeah. All right. So
A lot of us do pranayam. the
prana is
breathing.
okay. Yeah.
Ashtanga
Pranayam is,
Yoga, exactly. These 8 steps, we don't do that, right?
yeah, we always
So that is the Ashtanga Yoga.
yes. But when you do bhakti yoga, Prabhupada says you are actually following the whole 8 processes. All right. What niyam you are doing in bhakti yoga? What niyam? Niyam means regulations. You are following all the regulations. What are those? We know what are the regulations. Yam niyam. Don't do these prohibited things. Do this one thing. 4 things are prohibited. One thing you must do is chanting. So yam niyam. All right. Asan. What is the asan? Asan in bhakti yoga is very easy. All right. You can do bhakti yoga even by eating. So asan is everywhere. Then pranayam. Pranayam is also when you are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. What you have done? You are taking out your breath. Right? And after chanting like that, you inhale breath like that. The whole idea of doing that pranayam is to control mind. And you are controlling mind by chanting. Right? So the goal is reached like that. So all this, Prabhupada gives a lot of details how Bhakti Yoga is parallel to that. And the final samadhi. How are we in samadhi? We are in samadhi 24/7 by keeping in touch with Lord Krishna.
What's the dharana means?
Dharana means to establish, to hold that, Bhagavan Krishna in our thoughts, in our mind, like that. Just like you and
Dharana,
me.
like
The holding.
yeah.
Dharana means to hold.
Right.
Dharana, dhyan. Dharana, when becomes completely expressed, is known as dhyan. Now you are not deviating from Lord Krishna's feet. Dharana, dhyan. And then the samadhi is perfection of dhyan. Right? Now nothing external is going to affect you. And this is the stage who obtained this. Mirabai. Mirabai, every thought of Lord Krishna, even her dream is Lord Krishna. Did she do Ashtanga Yoga? Have you read anywhere Mirabai did Ashtanga Yoga? No. Pal ka pal sovat kamini. Jnana sab pisang lage. So this is the final samadhi stage of loving Lord Krishna. All people in Vrindavan were on that samadhi. They did not know who is Lord Krishna. Even the cows. All these things are described very nicely in the Srimad Bhagavatam. All right, so let's go to this 33rd sloka. After Bhagavan Krishna described the details of doing Ashtanga Yoga, what does Arjun say? Arjun says, Arjun Uvacha, Yo ayam yogastvaya proktaha.
Yo ayam yoga
Samyena Madhusudana.
Samyena Madhusudana.
Etasyaham na pasyami.
Etasyaham na pashyami.
Chanchalatvat sthitim sthiram. Okay, Padma Ben, you can read the translation.
Hare Krishna. Arjuna said, O Madhusudana, the system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and unendurable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady.
Okay. Chanchalam hi manah Krishna.
Chanchalam
Pramati balvadrudham.
Brahmati Balabhadram
Tasyaham nigraham manye
Tasyaham Nigraham Manye
Vayoriva Suduskaram.
Vayu Iva Sudushkaram.
Ajit Bhai, you can read translation?
Sure. For the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong, O Krishna, and to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind.
Okay. And has anyone controlled wind so far?
No.
I was in a flight recently from East Coast to West. Although the winds were so strong, the plane was kind of pindaling this way, that way, like that. So the pilot, they were I'm sorry, Drumar. So this is how the wind is so powerful.
Yeah.
Okay. The next look is, so Bhagavan Krishna is answering now to Arjuna. He says, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Asansayam Mahabaho
Samsayam Mahabaho
Mano Durnigraham Chalam
Nigraham
Chalam
Chalam
Abhyasena Tu Kaunteya
Abhyasena Kaunteya
Vairagyena Cha Gruhyate.
Vairagena Chaturgayate.
Okay. Who wants to read the translation? Someone who has not read?
I can read.
Okay,
Lord
very good.
Krishna said, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb a restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment.
Right. So the two things are required. One is suitable practice. All right. What is that suitable practice for you and me? We'll understand that. And by detachment. All right. Detachment, you should start developing little detachment. little detachment you can start doing every day. I thought, oh, no, I must eat this much. No, little detach little. Okay. I can eat this I want, but I eat little, like that. All right. So that's Bhagavan Krishna says that. Sangeeta Ben, please read the next slok's translation.
For one whose mind unbridled self-realization is difficult work, but he whose mind is controlled and who strives by appropriate means is assured of success. That is my opinion.
Right. So that is Lord Krishna's opinion. Is there any other opinion about Lord Krishna? Could there be any other opinion about Lord Krishna?
No.
No.
No. What Lord Krishna's opinion is final. All right. There is no other opinion which is higher than that. So that's what we should learn. So Bhagavan Arjuna is now asking this question, which is very important for you and me. He says, Arjuna Vacha. Ayati Shraddhayopeto Yoga Chalit Manasa Aprapya Yog Sansiddhim Kam Gatim Krishna Gachati. Harsa Ben can read.
Arjuna said, O Krishna, what is the destination of the unsuccessful transcendentalist who in the beginning takes to the process of self-realization with faith, but who later desists due to worldly mindedness and thus does not attain perfection in mysticism.
Okay, read the translation for the next slide.
O mighty armed Krishna, does not such a man who is bewildered from the path of transcendence fall away from both spiritual and material success and perish like a raven cloud with no position in any sphere?
Right. We have seen sometimes that there's a small cloud which detaches from another cloud and is now, before it reaches another cloud, it's evaporated in the sky. So we are like that, we want to become fully Krishna conscious, but we cannot. We are lost somewhere halfway. Why? Because of some, bad kusang or this, that, worldly mindedness. This stage is known as what? It's known as yoga chalita manasa. The mind is deviating from the yoga. I want to drink this and I want to do this. All this time, bhakti will say, don't. Okay, let me drink. Sometimes some friends force you to drink. So this is called yoga chalit manasa. In the beginning stages, when I was in Africa, when I got initiated, I did not touch tea for so many years. Right? Then after some times I was sitting with some doctors, they were kind of discussion, this, that, and then they told me, what is wrong in drinking tea? You were so this thing. That day I started drinking tea again. For some few years, I drank like that. And then I again left it. So this is how, your mind can get out of it. So you should be careful to associate with such persons who can induce you to get yoga chalit manasa. So Arjun is asking, this is my doubt, O Krishna, and I ask you to dispel it completely. But for you, no one is to be found who can destroy this doubt. So Sri Bhagavad, the 40th sloka is important. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan
Vacha.
Partha Naiveha Namutra Vinasaha Tasya Vidyate Nahi Kalyan Krut Kaschid. Durgatim Tat Gachati. Who wants to read?
I'll read.
Someone read. Okay, sure.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, son of Partha, a transcendentalist engaged in auspicious activities does not meet with destruction, either in this world or in the spiritual world. One who does good, my friend, is never overcome by evil.
Right. So this sloka is spoken by Bhagavan Krishna to Arjun and to all of us. All of us. He has said that you have done some chanting about me. You have done some service for me. You have done some kalyan krut. There will never be evil you will overcome. Never. Why? Because I will come and guide you. Take you out. Right? He's in your heart. Right? That's why not only bhakti yoga, all yoga. Lord Krishna is very much inclined to those who do some kalyan for him. Bhakti, karma yoga, jnana yoga, ghat yoga, all these yogis. He's very much inclined to these people who are doing some self-realization, some spiritual activity like that. So that's what he says there. And then he says, Prapya punya kritam lokan. Ushitva saswati samaha. Tuchinam namte. Yoga bhrasto abhijayate. Right. So the one who is unsuccessful, Sri Prabhupada translates, the unsuccessful yogi, after many, many years of enjoyment on the planets of pious living entities, is born into the family of righteous people or into the family of rich aristocracy. Right. So there are two places, persons like those who have done some spiritual activity in their previous life, some sukruti, all right, kalyan krit kasit. So they will get very good birth in higher planets, and they will be able to enjoy the material desires they had, for which they had fallen down. Right? The Bhagavan Krishna is so benevolent, he allows him to finish his material desires, whatever he had. And then he gives another chance. When he gives another chance, you don't start from zero. Where you start from? Where you had left. All right. So this is very important. In purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, the unsuccessful yogis are divided into two classes. Number one is fallen after very little progress. And number two, one is fallen after long practice of yoga. Now, how much you and me have done, we don't know. We cannot know because we just know about one lifetime here. All right. But within one lifetime also you can say that, this much I have done. All right. 5, 10, 15, whatever you are done. Like those who have dedicated their life from Gurukul. All right. There are so many people that they were born to these white couples who were devotees. And they didn't go to material schools like which we went. They went to Gurukul. They are known as Gurukulis. Yeah? And from the start of their life, they are putting tilak, they are chanting, they are reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad, and dancing in front of deer. These are very advanced souls. Right? We can judge from comparison that we were not like that, although we were born by Vaishnava parents like that, but we were not strict like that. But we are still far better than so many other souls who have not done any in their previous life. This does not make you and me puff up. What should we do? We should go and preach to those people. Show compassion towards that these people do not know. They are eating cows, flesh. This is no good. Right? You don't hate them. What you do? You try to convince them that this is not good. This is good. Do service like. So this is our duty like that. Okay? The yogi who falls after a short period of practice goes to higher planets where past living entities are allowed to enter. After prolonged life there, one is sent back again to this planet and to take birth in the family of righteous Brahman, Vaishnava, or aristocratic merchants. The real purpose of yoga practice is to achieve highest perfection of Krishna consciousness, as explained in the last verse of this chapter. But those who do not persevere to such an extent and who fail because of material allurements are allowed by the grace of the Lord to make full utilization of their natural propensities. And after that, they are given opportunities to live prosperous lives in the righteous or aristocratic families. Those who are born in such families may take advantage of facilities and try to elevate themselves to full Krishna consciousness. So this is one, those who are after short practice. The next one is Athva Yogina Meva Kule.
Athva yogina meva
Kule.
Bhavati Dhimatam.
Bhavati
Dhimatam.
Etadhi Durlabhataram Loke.
Etadhi durlabham taram loke.
Janma yadi drusham.
Janma yadi drisham.
In translations, like, or if unsuccessful after long practice of yoga, what happens to him? He takes his birth in a family of transcendentalists who are surely great in wisdom. Certainly, such a birth is rare in this world. And in this purport, Srila Prabhupada gives his own sweet memory here. Birth in a family of yogis or transcendentalists, those with great wisdom, is praised herein, because the child born in such a family receives a spiritual impetus from the very beginning of his life. This is especially the case of the acharyas of Goswami family. Such families are very learned and devoted by tradition and training, and thus they become spiritual masters. In India, there are many such acharya families, but they have now degenerated due to insufficient education and training. By the grace of Lord, there are still families that foster transcendentalist generation after generation. It is certainly very fortunate to take birth in such families. Fortunately, both our spiritual master, Om Vishnupad Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, and our humble self had the opportunity to take birth in such families by the grace of the Lord. And both of us were trained in devotional service of the Lord from the very beginning of our lives. Later on, we met by order of the transcendental system. Eh? So that's how we meet great souls like Prabhupada. I never met Prabhupada, but I have met very great souls like Radha Goswami and Gopal Krishna Goswami, yeah? And so many others. Very great souls. Yeah. So this is how we become fortunate. And you also can become fortunate by your own endeavor by going and serving these people. Chadiya Vaishnava Seva Nishar Pai Bekeba. And Narottam Das Thakur, without serving Lord Krishna's devotee, especially pure devotees, there is no chance for liberation or progress. All right. So whenever in your life you get time, chance to serve a Vaishnava, do that service. That service is a great, great asset for getting liberated. All right. Then in the 43rd slok, he says, Tatra tam buddhi sanyogam
Tatra tam buddhi sanyogam
labhate paurva dehikam
labhate parvadekam
yatate cha tato bhuyah
yatate cha tato bhuyah
tansiddho kuru nandana.
Samsiddha Gurunandana.
All right. So here in translation, Prabhupada says, on taking such a birth, he revives the divine consciousness of his previous life, and he again tries to make further progress in order to achieve complete success. O son of Kuru. Also writes in the purport one highlighted, from his life, it is understood that transcendental endeavors or the practice of yoga never go in vain. He is talking about Jad Bharat in this purport. Then in the 44th slok, he says, by virtue of the divine consciousness of his previous life, he automatically becomes attached to the yogic principles, even without seeking them. Such an inquisitive transcendentalist stands always above the ritualistic principles of the scriptures. And then he gives the 45th slok. And when the yogi engages himself with sincere endeavor in making further progress, being washed of all contamination, then ultimately achieving perfection after many, many births of practice, he attains the supreme goal. And then he says, a yogi is greater than ascetic, greater than the empirist, and greater than fruitive worker. Therefore, Arjuna, in all circumstances, be a yogi. And then he tells the final verdict of this first section. All right. Yoginam api sarvesham.
Yoginam api sarvesham
Madgaten antaratmana.
madgate antaratmana
Shraddhavan bhajate yomam.
Shraddhavan bhajate yomam
Same yukta tamo matah. Right. So Sri Prabhupada translates, and of all yogis, the one with great faith, who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me. He is the most intimately united with me in yoga, and is the highest of all. This is my opinion. Yeah? So you can see your own position. Yeah? He's using one word, very important word in this slok. What is that very important word?
transcendental loving service.
No, the Sanskrit word.
Oh, Shraddhavan.
What else?
Madgate antaratma.
Bhajate. Bhajate verse. Bhajate leads to bhakti. So he has put bhakti yogi at the top of all yogis. Right? All other processes should lead to bhakti. And you can directly do bhakti without doing all other yoga. This is just like going to the topmost floor by steps or by elevator. Which one would you go if you are in hurry?
Elevator.
Elevator. Yeah. So Bhakti Yoga is the elevator. You just sit there. Why? Because Bhakti, the sadhan Bhakti leads to Raganuruk Bhakti. Right? And Raganuruk Bhakti leads to love for Lord Krishna. So this stage is, as soon as you start, right, you have already reached the final stage. How? You and me have started, but we have not reached the stage. How? So how it is that you already reached the stage?
Love
Reason
for
is,
the Lord.
yeah, go ahead.
We have so much love for him that we are in that bliss or happiness, and not exactly bliss yet, but we are so happy to be at that stage.
Just like if you want to go to New Jersey and you book United Airline flight number so and so, all right, everything is confirmed. Now you boarded the flight, all right, and when you boarded the flight, you are sure you will reach there.
Yeah.
All right. Similarly, you and me have started the process. All right. These ordinary planes sometimes have some kind of problems where they may not reach, but eventually the passenger will reach there. But Bhagavan Krishna is the controller of all this bhakti yoga. That's why there will be no flow, there will be no setback. That plane will reach his face. So that's not Bhakti Lata beach. All right. So we and me have some Bhakti Lata beach sprouted now, so it will reach Lord Krishna's feet eventually. All right. So this is the guarantee Lord Krishna is giving, and that's why you and me feel good, feel good, but we should not be negligent. All right. Otherwise, what will happen? The same process which here actually yoga chalit manas. All right. So keep good company, satsang, do your sadhana as much as you can, and stick at that. And Lord Krishna is every step, just like a mother, father. Every step he is going to help you. All right. Provided what? You should ask. One of the names of Lord Krishna is known as Avigyat. Have you heard of that name? The Paramatma in your heart? Have you heard? Where? In what context?
Katha.
Puranjanakyan.
Yeah.
Puranjan was so much attached to his wife, he became a woman next life. Her name was Vaidarvi. Right? And that Vaidarvi married Makardhwaj. Makardhwaj, a great Vaishnava. So when they were in the Vanprastha, they were in the jungle, Makardhwaj left his body. And the Vaidarvi, who was Puranjan in previous life, she was lamenting so much. She wanted to become Sati there. That's where a Brahmin came. He says, "Oh, daughter of king, why are you lamenting?" He says, "My husband has died, this, that." Then that Brahmin said, "Do you know me?" He said, "No, I don't know you." He said, "I know you from when you were in Puranjan. My name is Avigyat." All the stories there in Puranjan Akhyan. So Lord Krishna is there with us. But he is Avigyat for those who do not try to approach him, do not surrender. He becomes very much inclined as soon as you do his service. And he will take you very simply. Bhavamina chirat par maya vesiti chet. So you have to become attached to him by doing satsang and this sadhana bhakti. Then your liberation is guaranteed. Guaranteed. Just like Jad Bharat became Lord Krishna's great, got liberated in 3 births. So we all in 3 births, all right? But you can also get within this. So you and me should aim of getting out of birth in this life only. Whatever the years you and me have left, make this your definite chief aim of your life. That I will get out of birth. And Bhagavan Krishna will have, as soon as you make this decision, it goes to super soul inside. And he will arrange things for you. That's what I have observed in my life so many times. Very good. So we have taken a little more time today, but read this chapter when you have time and you will get more insight. But you and me, we have no time even to read. Then how can we be able to do Ashtanga Yoga like that? So do Bhakti Yoga as we have been doing, and Bhagavan Krishna will be pleased with all of us. Bless us through Prabhupada's mercy. All right. So we will be meeting tomorrow at the temple. So please come tomorrow at temple. We will do our usual Bhakti Yoga there.
Yeah.
Okay. Any
Okay.
question? Any suggestion?
Yeah.
So Guruji,
All right.
some of you already are in your third birth. Some of you great devotees.
I do not consider myself that advanced, but you and me cannot judge 100%. It is all discretion of super soul. Even if you are not very much advanced, with the mercy of Prabhupada Maharaj, you can become advanced. It comes finally to your own determination. Even if you are in 10-20%, bhakti like that, you decide, no, I'll do 16 rounds every day. I'll read Bhagavad Gita, I'll read Bhagavatam, I'll preach, and I'll do this. I'll do Arti Puja. All right. Then you can get liberated within this birth also. So it all depends on your Lord Krishna says, Ye yatamam prapadyante tansate bhajamyam. So he will come. As soon as he says you are determined. Just like I told you, I just told him this slok which I tell him, Kama dinam katina kariya, niyungsmat dasya. And these people called me even before I finished. Within next 5 minutes, he called. He said, please tell us about all these things, Bhagavad Gita. So like that. So we should be sincere. That's one requirement. You want to be sincere and sheltering yourself at the feet of Prabhupada Maharaj to Bhagavan Shri Krishna. These are facts of life. You ask many devotees, they will say like that. Very good.
Haribol, Haribol.
Haribol. So let's meet tomorrow
Haribol.
and
Haribol.
we'll have
Hare
that.
Krishna,
Haribol.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you.
Pankaj Bhai, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you,
Vancha
Pandit Bhai.
Jai Shri
kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva patitaram pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Namo
Namo Namaha.
Shantam.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Jai
Krishna, Haribol.
Hare
Haribol.
Hare Jai Jai Sri